I honestly think if you have tubes in your system and you like vinyl, this 50 euros upgrade is essential. I really think how much value and improvement you get from these tubes is miles beyond the stock ones you get with your device. I use PSVANE's Horizon 12AX7 tubes to improve my phono preamp that I currently possess. I used to dabble a little bit with tubes rolling, having tubes from Telefunken and Mallard in my possession at different times. The benefits of having better tubes is immeasurable in your tube system. Bad tubes can often be a bottleneck, veiling the sound and just not allowing sound to properly expand and detail. So I just think tube rolling for any measurable upgrade of your system is mandatory. But I will format this review a bit differently, as I will first say for who these tubes are not, as I can see some people might not be fully satisfied with them, and no matter how weirdly this is what I'm going to say, these tubes might not be favorite ones for people that generally love tubes. I know it sounds strange, but let me tell you why. Usually tubes have this very nice sheen and warmth to them, almost creating a smooth presentation, which is a to die for people that enjoy tubes. It is a big warm hug that makes your listening experience infinite and beautiful. But PSVANE's Horizon series is more like solid state in sound, as they are more faster, nimble, brighter and detailed. As it might not be something people that enjoy tubes really like that much. So I want to taper excitement a little bit here, as I am going to be excited really much about reviewing these tubes, as I think they are amazing. As they are cheap and awesome, and for 50 euros you breathe new life in your turntable system, which is just beyond gratifying. As I know how they shocked me, to be honest. This kind of reviews are my favorite types, as when it arrived, as I didn't expect anything from them, as I was given these Chinese tubes to review which I didn't know nothing about. But I was so amazed when I tested them with music I love to. I heard every tiny detail. It surprised me so much, and my surprise only kept growing while I was listening to them further. But let's talk about build and packaging a little bit, as I love what PSVANE does here with packaging. It really sells you on that premium experience. Their logo is a peacock, so it is supposed to be flamboyant a little bit. And with this kind of marble with gold accents, it does kind of ooze the luxurious experience. It is not something that will bring these tubes any pros, but when I spend money, I love to see companies try to make the whole experience of opening a package a great pleasure, as it is your kind of first introduction to the product. These tubes, also referred to ECC82, is a compact 9-pin dual triode vacuum tube with a medium gain. It's just commonly used in preamplifiers. But there are two great things that I like that they have added. It is HPS-T and HPS-X. The HPS-T anode coating technology is designed to address issues related to heat dispersion and thermal stress in anodes. This innovation reduces signal distortion, ensures stable output, and enhances the sound clarity. Additionally, the HPS-X anode coating technology increases both anode and output power while effectively absorbing excess gases, helping to extend the tube's operational life. The bases are made from high-density ceramics, which reduces conductivity and dampering, further improving the overall stability. This is a huge deal, as there is a tangible results that this provides. It creates more stable environment for signal to be less clouded. Now, thermal dispersion is a big thing, and how well it reacts with your preamp is going to be a preamp by preamp basis, but it should work really great. The reason I spoke about this is also how much this affects the sound quality and sound signature. As I said, this sound is more leaning to lean, as it is more focused, presentable and detailed. It just doesn't care to have that tube magic, but it cares to extract and present as much as detail as it can. And how much it extracts and synergize does heavily rely on cartridge and preamp synergy. It will not have that warm, weighty and smooth sound, but still, it is not like Class D clinical sound. It is still an indistinguishable analog sound. While not the smoothest, it still shaves the treble and smooths the mids. And we have to go first with sound of bass. I'm so happy how dynamically rich these tubes make your sound. There is certain focus and mission on that bass. It is precise. I think I can explain it in that way. It pierces through the layers of production and instrumentation. And all that with textures and inflections of a great system. And you know how I felt it. I was listening to Miles Davis a lot with these tubes, and on the corner sessions, the upper bass, the sound of sax and trumpet, it leads the tempo and instrumentation, and you can feel how wind blows through them. You can feel textures, how the sound expands. It was beautiful. It truly is the one for more, giving us more like that organic textures and feelings, and it's really, really great in that session. I know people will probably dislike the idea that this is maybe a too lean, that they have this oral presence of weight and scope. I know it kind of missed on that like command, and also a little bit on a soundstage whiff. I think the issue might be also if you are used to tubes, you might expect a bit more soundstage whiff with them, with these tubes. But unfortunately, there is nothing like that here. But this sound is actually far from being like bright or lean. It just doesn't have that weight, that warmth to it. But my favorite thing with these tubes is not bass, it's mids. I absolutely think that mids are mind-blowing, and there is a reason for this. It is a heat dispersion and thermal stress allowed engineers to actually give more clarity than usual. And it is just that with my system, Synergy, the push for more details and presentation and showmanship was obvious. I mean, I love tubes. They make everything so much more musical, so much more engaging. I certainly understand why some people only prefer tubes, but to me, this combination of even more clarity and precision among cheap tubes and yet to hold that musicality and smoothness is just nuts. I love the expressions of vocals with these tubes, how the wail is lifted enough that the clarity of both vocals and instruments shine and not combat each other. It just offers so much clarity and details. It's so pretty. And a lot of instruments clash in mids. A lot of stuff is happening there, and if your tube can successfully unclutter that mess, well, good job. I think mids are truly impressive with these tubes. Also, treble have good and bad moments. But as expected, best things about this, it is clarity and forwardness. But sometimes it tries too hard to be open at the top and it causes a bit of unrefinement. Not something that I see as a super negative, as it is not something you notice often, especially it is manageable if you have the rest of the system on warm spectrum, but it tries too hard to push through grain and sometimes feel uninspiring and unrefined. But still, it separates well, and soundstage is decent enough with this. But take clarity in consideration, and if your amp speakers create vast soundscapes, well, you will not feel cheated out that they maybe don't allow the biggest soundstage. Synergy with this is also important to pair correctly. I think it is not a super hard thing to pair, But adding additional warmth via amp, speakers and cartridge is probably a great way to go. Don't pair this with bright components, as you will lose that analog magic. But something like HANA cartridges, something like Marantz or tube amps, or something like Q acoustics or Wharfdale speakers are going to go a long way to create a phenomenal synergy. My experience with PSVANEs was unexpected and enjoyable. I would not think that tubes that have sound that is more in line with solid state than typical warmth of tubes. These are amazing tubes that deliver amazing clarity and details, and especially does a great job into decluttering the mids, expressing the instruments and especially vocals. That might create a sound that is maybe a too forward or bass that is not commanding and encompassing like what you're used to. But give these tubes a chance. They are not expensive and they deliver a lot of great goodies. You might be surprised with details, clarity and showmanship, and you might from time to time switch your new old stock warm tubes for some other sonic signature or some other genre of music that you want to listen, which is more compatible with more leaner, detailed sound for clinical listening, as this price allows you flexibility in combining and experimenting with a different sound of tubes, and you can switch them based on occurrence and your mood. Thanks to everybody watching this, and thank you for actually staying to the end with this video. If you like it, please like and subscribe. Keep daydreaming and see you in the next video. Bye!